All right.
Thank you.
Good job.
You know what they say? If you want to run a race, run a mile. But if you want to experience life, run a marathon. So, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, running is a major part of my life. And one of my biggest goals in life is to qualify to run the Boston Marathon. It's just done this past Monday, as a matter of fact. Now, the Boston Marathon is not a conventional marathon. You have to qualify to do it. For me, that means running a marathon in 3 hours and 15 minutes. That equals out to 7 minutes and 26 seconds per mile. It's not easy, but I'm determined to get there. And what I've learned through my years of experience with running is that life is very similar to running a marathon. You see, in marathon running, you have to prepare for the journey. It's the same way in life. You have to prepare for the journey. Also, you have to be willing to adapt to change. You never know when you're out there on mile 14 or 15 what may happen. You may have to adapt or adjust. In life, of course, you never know what's going to happen. And by all means, you can never, ever give up. Now, these life lessons that I learned, they became very, very real to me when I ran my first marathon back in 2003. And there I was, standing on the start line of the New York City Marathon. Scared and excited with 30,000 of my closest friends. And the countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the gun goes off. And literally a sea of people are going across the Verrazano Bridge. And they start playing that song. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. And as I'm running up the Verrazano Bridge, I'm bobbing and weaving. I'm going around people running way faster than what I trained on running, but the adrenaline has taken over now. I'm feeling so good. I get up to the top and I sprint down the other side of the bridge. I'm high-fiving kids on the sideline. There's over 1 million people having such a good time. Passed right by some water stations. But I'm feeling so good. Now, as I get to about mile 10, I realize I'm feeling a little tired. I'm trying to figure out why. Now, back here in Tampa, where I trained, it was nice and flat, you know? But up in New York, I've been going up and down, and up and down the hills of Brooklyn. And now I'm paying for it. You see, I didn't properly prepare myself for this journey. Now I'm paying for it. But I keep going. I get all the way to the halfway point. Now at this point, I'm on track to run a 3 hour and 30-minute marathon. And I'm good with that. But I got to make a quick bathroom break. So I make that stop, and I realize I'm getting dehydrated when I make that stop. But I keep going, right? So now I'm going, and I'm just flying. And I get all the way to mile 16, and I'm on the top of the Queensboro Bridge. And I hit the wall. And now I'm like this. You know what I'm thinking? This is not going to end well. I got 10 miles to go, and I've hit the wall. So I had to adjust. Right there, I knew I had to adjust. I had to slow my pace down, take in more fluids, because that's the only way I'm going to get through these next 10 miles. So down the bridge I go, and off I go. And those last 10 miles were some of the toughest 10 miles I've ever run in my life. I'd run a little bit, and then I'd walk a little bit. And I'd run a little bit more, and I have to walk a little bit more. And I'm slurping down Gatorade and water at every water station I can get. I'm screaming at my leg, come on, legs! But nothing's happening. But I kept going. And when I get to the end, the last 0.2 miles, 385 yards, are uphill in Central Park. Now, I don't know why they would do that to you at the end of a marathon, but that's the way it is in New York City, just so you know. But I told myself the last 0.2 miles, I'm going to sprint those last 2.2 miles. And I sprinted, and I crossed that finish line and put that medal around my neck. And I was like, yes, I had hit that goal that I wanted to hit. Now, I knew, when I look back over those last 10 miles and how tough they were, I knew then there was no way I was going to give up. No way. I didn't come all the way from Tampa to New York City to quit in the middle of the race. And see, those life lessons that I learned in that race, I'm still living right now. Right now. I'm right now training to get to a race that's going to qualify me for the Boston Marathon. So right now I'm preparing my body and preparing my mind. I'm putting in the miles. I'm also ready and willing to adapt to change. If something were to happen and I get injured, I'm ready for that. If the weather changes, I got to go inside, I'll run on the treadmill, whatever I got to do. And by all means, I'm never going to give up. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, I challenge you. If you want to run a race, run a mile. But if you want to experience life, run a marathon. I'll see you at the start line. Wow.
Okay, we'll take a minute for some love notes, and then I will speak about that in speech a little bit.